Japan is a nation in East Asia that is well known for its breathtaking scenery, which has mesmerized many visitors. This place is not only beautiful, but it also has a long-standing culture with many odd and distinctive features. For instance, over 700,000 people in Japan isolate themselves from society. Workaholics, Japanese people can put in up to 80 hours a week at their jobs. A man was the first geisha, the custom of cramming people onto subway cars, among other things. To learn more about Japan, the nation with the longest life expectancy in the world, let's examine 15 odd facts about it. Number 1. Japan's Naked Festival. There are many well-known festivals in Japan, but Hidaka Matsuri is undoubtedly the most peculiar. Every year, on the third Saturday in February, the City Kanon Temple in Okayama Prefecture hosts this festival in which people come to pray for good fortune. Men are required to remove all of their clothing during the festival. Even in the bitterly cold Japanese winter, they only have on one white loincloth known as a fundoshi and one pair of white socks known as tabi. To ensure a lucky year, thousands of Japanese men get naked in public. Number 2. Addiction to work. It has long been known that Japanese people are industrious and have a strong work ethic. Many people who work more than 80 hours a week become exhausted, suffer strokes, or commit suicide. In Japan, there's even a word for overwork-related death called karoshi. It is uncommon for Japanese people to change jobs too frequently. It is ideal to start working for one company at a young age and remain there forever. After all, they spend 12 to 15 hours a day together at work, making coworkers almost a second family. The Daily Mail claims that a number of major health problems as well as hundreds of deaths in Japan each year are attributed to overwork-related causes, including heart attacks and strokes. Lawsuits and attempts to fix the issue have resulted from this. Number 3. 700,000 or more hikikomori. Hikikomori are individuals who choose to live a reclusive lifestyle. They are typically middle-aged and jobless, or they are young, averaging 30 to 31 years old. They spend the majority of their time indoors with food and beverages brought to them while they live with their parents. Some even choose to live in complete silence for decades. Trauma or extremely traumatic experiences during childhood are linked to many cases of hikikomori. Low achievement seems to be a contributing factor in the development of hikikomori, particularly when combined with high family expectations. For many years, the Japanese government has been troubled by this phenomenon and has looked for different ways to help hikikomori become part of the community. Number 4. About 1,500 earthquakes in Japan every year. Japan is located on the Pacific Ring of Fire, which causes earthquakes to occur frequently there every year. Although it seems terrifying at first, you'll eventually get used to it because hundreds of tiny earthquakes happen every year, the majority of which are hardly felt. In Japan, there are roughly 111 active volcanoes, and each year there are roughly 15 volcanic events, including eruptions. The lives of many of these people are seriously threatened. Japan uses the Japan Meteorological Agency Seismic Intensity Scale, JMA, a different scale to measure earthquakes. This scale gauges how much the affected area's ground is trembling at various points. The JMA scale makes it easier for people to know what to do in the event of a significant earthquake. Each step on the scale has a description such as hanging objects may sway or people sleeping may wake up, with 0 being the lowest value and 7 being the highest. The JMA scale is used to inform the public about official earthquake warnings and the necessary actions. It is safer to seek cover in a safe area or under a table during an earthquake. Running outside carries a high risk of injury due to the numerous objects that could fall on you. Contrary to popular belief, not all deaths are directly caused by earthquakes. In actuality, not many people die from earthquakes directly. Instead, many people perish in fires, from gas explosions that suffocate them, or from being buried. Number 5. The world's most reliable train lines. Japan's railway systems are regarded as the most punctual in the world, with an average delay of less than 1 minute on the Shinkansen high-speed rail line between Tokyo and Shinosaka in 2018. In Japan, it's not common to be late. When a train is delayed, the ticket inspector is required to apologize, and if the delay exceeds 5 minutes, the railway company may even provide a delay certificate. Should there be an hourly delay, the announcement will be made right away on the news. Number 6. Japan's cry workshops. Many businesses and educational institutions in Japan host cry workshops, which encourage staff members or students to cry in order to relieve tension and feel more at ease and capable of expressing their feelings. A beautiful man who can cry is hired by companies to play depressing videos and wipe participants' tears. A specialist known as a tier teacher or Nita sensei is invited to lead workshops and give talks about crying in schools. These sobbing programs are a result of the fact that Japan has one of the lowest rates of crying among all nations. Some people think that crying is frowned upon in Asian nations because it's seen as a delicate gesture of weakness. Crying workshops therefore facilitate better stress relief and self-expression for participants. Number 7. High rate of infidelity in relationships. Although divorce is uncommon in Japan, not all unions end happily ever after. Many opt to stick together even in trying circumstances. This is due to the fact that a divorce would be financially challenging for the large number of homemaker Japanese women. Because there is only one parent awarded custody following a divorce in Japan, men worry that they won't be able to see their kids after they split up. In contrast to many other countries, Japan does not have as rigid of a view on extramarital affairs. There are even arranged marriages in some places. As a result, there are a lot of extramarital affairs in Japan. In a 2019 Sagami rubber industry survey involving over 14,000 respondents, 15.2% of women and 20.5% of men acknowledged having slept with someone other than their spouse. Number 8. In Japan, there is no begging. You won't see anyone begging or lying defenseless on the streets in Japan, hoping that someone would feel sorry for them. Homeless people do not degrade themselves for a meal, despite the fact that they are despised and viewed as inferior by society. Japanese people have a very high sense of self-respect. They wouldn't beg for food even if they were to die. In Japan, the general public holds beggars in the lowest regard, believing that the spirit of the samurai would forbid them from doing so. If they are without food, they will scrounge through trash cans, sleep in cardboard boxes, gather cans for recycling, or raid convenience stores for leftover food. And number 9, Japan's legal Yakuza gangs. The Yakuza were born out of the robbers and gamblers of the Edo period and developed into a national criminal organization as Japan modernized. Even after World War ingrained in the economy. In the underground market, the Yakuza grew quickly. This criminal organization boasted over 184,000 members at its height in the 1960s. Politicians and the Yakuza were closely associated at the time. This lengthy past helps to explain why the Yakuza are still not outlawed today. In Japan, Yakuza are experts at obtaining debt and guarding entertainment areas, along with his organizational charts and offices. All of this is subject to police registration. Because it would harm their reputation and draw attention from the police, Japanese Yakuza will not attack civilian targets. You will only be in trouble if you go out and have fun for free or if you cause disturbances that negatively impact the local businesses. The Japanese Yakuza bosses are honor-bound and can be very friendly. For instance, the Yamagi Gomi gang in Japan is one of the biggest and most vicious gangs in the world. They make an estimated $6 billion a year from opium sales, usury, protection rackets, and even the Japanese stock market. Number 10, Japan's unusual one-room hotels. This is regarded as one of Japan's most bizarre inventions. Japanese hotels have very distinctive capsule-like room designs in place of standard rooms. Since they resemble cocoons, building them doesn't require a lot of room. These are the kinds of hotels that cater to all social classes, economic levels, and positions. Number 11, sleeping on the subway. Because Japanese people put a lot of effort into their work, they try to maximize their free time for relaxation. If you don't need a bed or seats, the subway is the perfect place to sleep. All they do is put their chins on some rubber and go to sleep, just like they would at home. In fact, taking a nap during the day is regarded as lazy in Japan if the person sleeps on a bed, but taking a nap while moving, like on a train, is praiseworthy. We refer to the act of napping as inimiri. Number 12, managing everything by yourself is totally normal. Is there anyone in the room who has never been to Japan before but is looking for a travel partner? If you don't have one, that's okay too. Japan is a wonderful place to travel alone and have adventures. In other nations, going to a restaurant by yourself might make you feel uneasy, but in Japan, there is absolutely no stigma associated with dining alone. Many people do it on a daily basis. Take a seat at the counter, observe the chef as they prepare your dish, and then savor it. Going to the movies or late night karaoke by yourself is just as common as dining alone. As a matter of fact, it's so common that whole companies and franchises in Japan cater to customers who are dining alone. Examples of these services include yakiniku-style restaurants and karaoke booths that resemble spaceship cabins. In addition, if you want to spend some alone time and don't feel like talking to anyone, you can go to Bar Hitori in Japan by yourself, start a conversation with a bartender, and spend some time there. Number 13, the first geisha was a man. You would be wrong to assume that all geishas are female. A man was the first geisha in history. Originally, geisha, also known as gecko in the dialect of Kyoto, were men who entertained audiences with story storytelling, dancing, and singing, the appearance of female geisha did not occur until the Edo period. A geisha's job is to amuse and keep company while demonstrating exquisite manners and conversation. In Japan, this is a highly regarded career that needs a lot of training. Number 14, sumo wrestlers in unique vehicles. You might have wondered how sumo wrestlers drive if you've ever seen them. Although they do own cars, sumo wrestlers are not allowed to drive themselves, so in order to prevent any accidents, the cars are usually driven. It's a special rule designed to keep them from hurting other people or damaging other people's cars because of their size. Many sumo wrestlers have customized vehicles to fit their bulk and receive help from experts. Sumo wrestlers occasionally use customized cars with unique seating arrangements. Number 15, countless dispensing machines. Japan is a nation well known for its vending machines. With an astounding 5 million of them dispersed across the nation, they sell a variety of goods, including food, beverages, toys, and books. In Japan, vending machines are used to sell odd goods like secondhand underwear in addition to drinks and snacks. Gourmet meals and high-end products like rare whiskey are even available in some vending machines. Because they are convenient and well-maintained, vending machines are very common and straightforward to locate in Japan.